Comic Book Savant, Binge at Your Leisure, TV Talk. Welcome back to the Comic Book Savant podcast. I'm your host, James Harris. This episode is going to be a Binge at Your Leisure TV Talk episode of WandaVision episode 6. What else can I say about this show? It was nothing that I expected, but everything I wanted and more that I didn't know I wanted, if that makes any sense. It's been an interesting journey going through watching the show episode by episode and doing these reviews and talking about it with you guys, even though when you get these episodes from me are kind of spread out, because I just don't want to bombard you week in, week out, and I don't know when you might view the episode, so I kind of purposely spaced them out. So I'm just not talking about every week. One of the 2 episodes you're getting is a WandaVision review, even though you might prefer it that way. And if you want these to be more timely and come out like as soon as the previous episode ends, because I normally do, I think I watch each episode twice to make sure I cover all the things for these review episodes I do. And then to space them out when I put them out. But if you want them more timely, let me know. You can always email me, comicbooksavant@gmail.com, or if you're in the Facebook group, you can always when I post, because I post links to the episodes once they come out, that you can let me know in the comment section, hey, can you drop these weekly? And I will put them out weekly. I know when the Marvel shows come out, because we have so many shows. This is my first kind of run with doing these weekly recaps of the individual episodes. So if you want the episodes more frequently, let me know so I can do it. Because we have a little bit of a break, then we go right into Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Then I think it's a small break, then right into Loki. So we're getting a huge amount of these type of shows. And I know you guys wanted me to do episodes like this, but I'm just trying to nail down the frequency so we know what the format's going to be going forward and what you guys actually want to hear from me and when. I have to say, overall, I'm really enjoying the trio of Monica, Darcy, and Jimmy. I just feel like they have the most amazing chemistry, and I love seeing them on the screen. I would love to, we don't know at this point, because we still have 3 more episodes to go, like where this might go with these characters. But if it's a sword series or something, I would love to see them in it. I know they announced they're going to be like a Secret Invasion show, like maybe hopefully they are brought back for that, because I just dig their chemistry together. They're just fun to watch on screen. Definitely in this episode we get Hayward is definitely threatened by the 3, challenging his authority, and he attempts to kick them off base, with the 3 of them never being the types that give up so easily. They fight their way up, back on, or when they're being escorted out, to stay on the base, and they start finding clues that Hayward clearly has some he knows more about the situation than he's letting on to them or anyone else about this anomaly or the hex than he's letting anybody know. Definitely in this episode we get more of Westview's sinister nature being revealed more and more in this episode. Excuse me. People are seemingly like stuck in loops and totally frozen, and we got the little glimpse of a scene where the woman is caught in this loop of she's trying to hang something up, and she, like, you see a tear like coming out of her eye, like she can't really control herself. So we start seeing things unravel a little bit more, and the more that you see Vision exploring the world or the anomaly, the more he gets further away from the center of town and where him and Wanda and the boys are, the more you're starting to see that everything is not quite the way it seems, and it seems like her powers are a little bit weaker as you start going towards the border of town. I feel like Vision in this episode temporarily release Agnes's mind, like he did in the previous episode with the co-worker, and she alerts him that he's dead. before she breaks down, kind of like his coworker did, and he has to put her back under. So, he realizes that something did happen, because it was parts that he was missing in his memory, and so it starts getting filled in by Agnes. But then she just has kind of that mental cracking, and so he puts her back under under the spell. I think Wanda has another scary sight and vision as we see Pietro zombified body riddled with bullet holes, similar to how he died in Age of Ultron. We had the whole big reveal of last episode of Evan Peters as Peter Maximoff, but it as this episode goes on, she has that similar situation that she had with a Vision a few episodes ago, where she sees him with the Infinity Stone, pulled out from his head, and he's grayed out. So we have a quick vision of Pietro in that kind of same way of seeing him riddled with bullet holes and and all that, and he looks zombified. So we definitely get another scary kind of moment that that the illusion is breaking up at these different spots for her, and I guess just adds to the urgency of the mental instability or the mental strain and emotional strain that she's under with these brief lapses, and she sees reality and the horribleness of it for just a brief moment before she everything is reined back in. I feel like the twins definitely this episode are more palatable in this episode overall. They're given way more to do, and as I expected, and I even think I said last episode that I felt like they were going to get their powers soon. They got their powers within this episode, which was kind of cool. And since it was the Halloween episode, it was cool seeing I think it's Billy is the one that's Wiccan, that he's in his like Wiccan outfit that we know from the comics, which was kind of cool. And so that was fun to see them get their powers. And I like the fact that they stuck with the kids at the same age at this point, so we can attach to those young actors a little bit more than when they were first introduced. They went from infants to 3-4 years old to where they're kind of at now. So I'm glad they stuck with these actors because it made them just as these plot points and not tangible characters, because it kept switching out actors so quickly. So I definitely enjoyed them more in this episode. And then we have the big moment of Vision trying to risk his life to try to save the people of Westview. And that attempt triggers Wanda to expand the boundaries of the hex that now engulfs the entirety of the Sword base, with Hayward, Jimmy, and Monica narrowly just escaping, getting out of her radius as it expanded. So definitely, he realizes when he tried to fight through the barrier to go out on the other side that, pieces of him start flying apart, going back into the anomaly as he was forcing his way through. And I want to say that it is Billy that feels his dad crying out in pain, and once Wanda's alerted, she expands the boundaries even more to engulf him in it, to save him because he was gonna die again. So definitely that was an awesome visual, and just to show how powerful that Wanda really is. So I thought that was very impressive visual to see. And I just, like I said, I'll talk about that part more later as far as the production side of things, but that was just a totally awesome visual. I enjoy how they're continuing to balance the pacing, and the writing staff did a great job, and I feel like they've executed it so well throughout the show so far. I think the one thing I could say as a negative, I didn't like, the episode ending on so much of a cliffhanger of, they expand this boundary, it engulfs, you see, certain people are in and out of it, and then it felt like it was a big cliffhanger of an episode in that way, which I hate. Shows that end on a cliffhanger, and then we got to wait a whole nother week to get an episode. But I'm getting used to it at this point, that it's bound to happen from time to time. I feel like the acting MVPs for me in this episode is definitely Paul Bettany, Tiona Paris, and Catherine Hahn, which is amazing how she keeps doing it when she's really not getting a bunch of screen time. She only has this one scene in this whole episode, but she really makes it count. And when you see like how she snaps out and she breaks down and he puts her back under, she snaps right back into that Agnes character that's so over the top. Like, she does it just so well, and she's really been knocking it out the park with little time in each episode. And they jam pack so much in these relatively short episodes of 30 minutes or slightly over 30 minutes each week, that is so much, and it whizzes by, which lends itself to repeat viewing for sure. Because like, I literally sometimes watch it and be like, it's over already, and I'll wait, or maybe the next morning, because most of the time I'm up late, so I stay up to watch it when it originally comes on, and then I rewatch it the next day and redefine my notes. And it just whizzes by. So it warrants itself to repeat viewings just to catch all the nuances in the performances. But I think all the actors are knocking it out the park. But I would say in this episode they were definitely the standouts for me. I also have to give honorable mention to Randall Park. I love the action sequence when him and Tiona Paris are taking out the guards. It really shows how much Jimmy has truly changed and evolved during the 5 years of the blip, that where we see him in Ant-Man and the Wasp to now, that he's still Jimmy, but he's Jimmy with an edge, and I kind of like that. I kind of feel like Jimmy could potentially be the new Coulson of the MCU, because we thought really Coulson was kind of a joke when we initially started seeing him. And I want to say, I don't know what, when Marvel was doing the shorts, that when the movies would come out on home video, they did a short. I can't remember what movie it was attached to. It was attached to one movie where they did a Marvel short that was Coulson, I think, when he was making his way to the hammer in Thor. Maybe it was on the Thor Blu-ray or DVD. And they showed him, it was a sequence where he went to a convenience store when he was driving to the town in the first Thor where the hammer was. And I think it was a robbery in progress when he goes into the store. He takes out the guys, and you really say, wait, Coulson's not this kind of jokey kind of character that bugs Tony Stark. He's like, he's an agent. He's like this BA guy. I think this kind of establishes the same thing for Randall Park with the scene him and Tiona Paris. It shows that they're not no joke. So it's definitely been some evolution from the bumbling, kind of inept Jimmy Woo that we saw in Ant-Man and Wasp for sure. And I totally love that, because I'm really, Randall Park is growing on me in that role with this series. So I can't wait to see more of him throughout the MCU at this point. I do have to say, on the flip side of things, I felt that in this episode, Kate Dennings felt a little wooden throughout this episode, and I feel like Elizabeth Olsen, outside of the master sequence when she expands the hex, they were really underutilized in this episode. They came off very quite pedestrian, which is weird because Elizabeth Olsen is one of the leads. Her name's in the title, WandaVision, but just came off. She wasn't given too much to do. Wasn't too much meat on the bones for either one of them, and it just it felt like Kat. Just, I'm not gonna say she phoned it in, but it wasn't much there for her. And they introduced her so strong, and it seemed like it's tapering off a little bit. They gave her such a strong introduction that's being reintroduced to her in the first few episodes, and it's diminished as the series has gone on for me, which is sad because I really like her as an actress, and I like the change in her character that they established early on in the series. So I hopefully before it's all said and done, they reestablish that status quo for her, so we can see her more in future shows and or movies. Now we're getting down the home stretch. We only got 3 episodes left. I just really hope they stick the landing on what I have to say that's been a very unique viewing experience. Like I said, this is everything I didn't know I wanted in a TV show, for sure. And I try my best not to have any expectations of TV shows, comics, anything that I'm reviewing. I just want to enjoy it as a fan, and so I try to have little expectations and my anticipation of stuff. And I love these 2 characters, so I just wanted a good show, and I've gotten it. It wasn't the show I quite expected, but it has delivered in spades, and it continues to do so 6 episodes in, which I'm loving. Overall, I would rate the acting in this episode a 7 out of 10. The casting is 10 out of 10. Direction, I say 8 out of 10. Special effects, 10 out of 10. And story was a 7 out of 10. So overall, I would say this episode is an 8.5. It just continues to be consistently good episode to episode. And yeah, I'm really interested in seeing what happens next. It really keeps me on the edge of my seat, waiting for the next week to pass so we can see the next installment of WandaVision. That's all I can really say about that. That it's just a really good show, really entertaining. But that's all I have for you guys for this episode. If you have any comments or feedback you want to give, you can send it to me over at comicbooksavant.com. You can email me directly through the website. Also, you can hit me up on social media at Comic Book Savant on Instagram and Twitter. We also have a Facebook group. You can find the link to the group through my Facebook page, which is Comic Book Savant / no, it's not. It is facebook.com / Comic Book Savant, all one word. And it's a link right to the right side of that page that will take you right to the Facebook group. You answer like 3 questions. It'll let you right into the group. We have a great community there that we all just talk comics and get to know one another. So definitely check that out if you have time. And if you want to support my work, you can hit up the Patreon page, which is patreon.com / Comic Book Savant. But that's all I have for you guys for this episode. I hope you're staying safe out there. I appreciate all the love and support you guys have given me. Until next time, you guys stay safe, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.